guys, Mainely DIY Mom here. I'm in my garage once again and I have a really fun project to do. I have some vinyl plank wall flooring that you can use in moist or damp places like a garage or a bathroom. And this little section of wall is going to get a facelift. So let's go. I picked up Easy Wall vinyl plank flooring from Home Depot, and it is self-stick. I am also going to use LOCTITE premium adhesive to make sure that it sticks to the wall because this is a humid location in the garage. A utility knife for cutting planks. I have measuring tape, and just in case I have any crazy planks, I did get out a brad nailer. I'm doing the first plank in the middle of the area that I'm paneling. And the reason for that is because of this beam coming out of the ceiling. So I used a paint stirrer and I measured from the top to the bottom of that beam and then transferred that measurement down to the plank. I basically just centered the beam in that area. And then I will be staggering all of the other planks to give it a natural, nice flow. So again, I just measured down and transferred that depth to the plank below. And then I took it over on the floor and drew those lines. I use this level and I had to put all my weight on it to keep a straight line. And you can see that one side of that beam is, deeper than the other side. So it was important to measure both sides of that beam. And then I'm cutting away from the center of the plank. I found too many mistakes when I did it the other way, so I always cut away from the middle. I made mistakes. I always make mistakes. And then I just cut through the tape on the back where the adhesive material is. And this was the hardest cut because it had to be perfectly straight. It's not like an outlet where you have a cover that goes over it. This was going to be seen from the floor, so I just took my time with that cut. And here I'm just running a chalk line from the ceiling down so that I have a nice straight line where I'm going to end the planking. So that section of wall, and only the top section of wall, will have vinyl plank flooring. I don't know why it's called flooring. It's not flooring. So here I'm just putting on construction adhesive. This is the first piece and I put too much adhesive. The humidity was 96% and it was hot, hot, hot that day. And this is what happened. Straight away. So I went back up with a nail gun. I had marked where the studs are. But remember, this is a thin vinyl and I'm using a nail gun. That happened. The woes. So I went back to the drawing board. I adjusted the depth on the nail gun so it would be the most shallow depth that it goes in the wall. And that made the difference. Here's a test piece to make sure it doesn't go through. And it worked. Ada luce. So then I just started cutting planks and I did various lengths, just trying to stagger them as I went. Put my weight on the speed square and I do 2 to 4 cuts on the top, wiggle it around, loosen it up, and then make a cut on the back through that tape. Peel the tape off. And it was a little learning curve, but I got better as I went. I just put less adhesive on the back. And I really do recommend using some adhesive if you're working in a damp area like this. This is a garage. It's not heated. And during the summer, it gets really hot in here, like today. And during the winter, it gets very cold. So I use the adhesive, press that against the wall. And with a brad nailer, I just put a few brads in the studs. I was trying to avoid not using studs, but I knew where the electrical wires were, so lots of times I put in a few extra brads. And then I also use a roller just to push that adhesive onto the wall. That plank is not going anywhere. Here I'm working around an outlet, so I've shut off the power and tested, and then I lined up that plank to the one on the right side of it and marked the left and right sides of the opening. You can see it's part way down. So I got out my handy dandy paint stirrer, lined it up with the board above, and marked how far down I needed to go before I made a cut. I transferred that measurement over to my board after I moved it to the floor. Sometimes it's tricky to remember which side you have to cut. So I use the reciprocating saw to cut the top piece. It's just easier when you're using the utility knife. It's so easy to cut into vinyl that you don't want to cut into unless you're cutting away from the center. And this will be covered by the outlet cover, so it doesn't need to be perfect. There you go. And here's the final project, all trimmed out. And see that rusty door over there? That's my very next project. Have a great day, folks.